it's not really why auction, it's why wouldn't you auction, to be perfectly frank. When you look at the great benefits that are associated with this particular marketing system in comparison to private treaty that is used significantly right across this country, you need to really consider this particular process. In fact, I think for many salespeople, if they're sitting in a listing interview, they actually don't discuss all the great benefits associated with this particular marketing method. Firstly, obviously it encourages market forces to operate. Now, whether you've only got one buyer, or whether you've got two, or whether you've got 22, this particular process will force them to compete. It will allow the salesperson and the auctioneer to achieve the maximum dollar they possibly can for their vendor. It will create, obviously, a cash unconditional contract. And especially in this marketplace where we are seeing deals falling over constantly because finance can't be approved because of the tightening of the lending criteria right across this country. Again, it's another wonderful benefit. In some states, of course, they have cooling off periods, in others they don't. But certainly the auction process eliminates the cooling off period as well. It's the most transparent marketing system that we have available to us. And with some of the skills and techniques that a good auctioneer and a good salesperson use, they can actual fact extract the last single dollar possible from the clients. It's an exciting process, and it's a process that I believe every salesperson should be going out there and looking at, obviously selling the great benefits associated with this system. Interestingly, we talk about this system reducing days on the market significantly. And when you consider of all the information that we have available to us, that the auction system will in actual fact reduce days on the market by approximately 50%. Now, all the facts and figures that we've got indicates to us that over the last 12 months, based on a number of different franchise organisations, that of all the properties taken to auction in the last 12 months, approximately 87% of those properties were sold in less than 40 days. Now, we tend, as an industry and the media, look at sales before and sales under the hammer. But this is all about process. And auction has always been about process and strategy. The simple fact is there is a very large proportion of properties taken to auction where, in fact, they haven't sold either before or at, but they've been sold within roughly 10 to 14 days after the auction, because the auction process has educated the vendor about truly where market sits. And subsequently, immediately at the conclusion of the marketing event, they have negotiated a competitive price range to go out to market. And after contacting interested parties that have come through that system, within 10 to 14 days, many of those properties have been sold. And the facts are that approximately 87% of the properties taken to auction in the last 12 months have been sold in less than 40 days. Now, I challenge you all to consider for one moment, if I went into your offices tomorrow and I looked at every private treaty sale that you had on your books and that you've sold, and then I analysed how many of those private treaty properties were sold in the first 3 weeks of your marketing campaign, I wonder what sort of percentage we would have. In fact, that percentage would be extremely low. In fact, you take one look at that percentage and you say, well, why, if I'm looking in the mirror, why haven't I offered this system to my vendors? In fact, if you think about it, we're acting for our vendors. The private treaty sale process puts every buyer in this country in control of the entire process. They will dictate to you and to your vendor all the terms of sale. I know you think you might be a negotiator, but at the end of the day, the buyer's negotiating absolutely everything. And yet we are working for our vendors. Why are we not sitting in front of our vendors and showing them how this process can get them back in control of their marketing of their own property, so that they end up dictating the terms to the buyers, not the other way around? We're supposed to be working in the best interests of our client. I challenge you to start thinking about the fact that if we are only promoting private treaty, I don't believe we're working in the best interests of our client in putting in front of them what I consider to be the absolute best marketing method that we have available in this industry.
I'm just going to give the opportunity around the room, ladies and gentlemen, 1.185, the per day antifreeze with our starter. First cook.